Hey everyone, this is Billy, and on behalf of Team Canada, I would like to welcome you to this video on the English of Switzerland. So I am going to start off by talking about whether or not there are different sub-varieties of Swiss English, and we talked this over as a group, and we think that there must be different varieties of Swiss English, because Switzerland has three different national languages: Italian, French, and German. And so you have a country with roughly equal amounts of native German, French, and Italian speakers. And some speakers from each of those groups are just sometimes likely to bring some of the phonetic features of their respective native languages into their English speech as they are learning it or speaking it as a foreign language. For example, we transcribed the speech of a Swiss girl who was learning English, and she nasalized a few of her English vowels. So we were thinking that she might be a native Swiss French speaker, because nasalizing vowels is a feature of French phonetics, whereas you're probably not going to see that same level of nasalization in the English speech of a native Swiss German speaker, because that is not a feature of German phonetics. You will find English throughout the country, but it will be less common in these smaller towns and more common in the bigger cities. Zurich, for example, has the highest level of English speaking in Switzerland. And overall, English will be most common in the German-speaking parts of the country. Thank you.
So Switzerland has three national languages. They are German, French, and Italian. Two-thirds of Swiss German speakers speak English as an EFL, while slightly less than one-half of Swiss French speakers and Swiss Italian speakers speak English as an EFL. Overall, more Swiss can speak English, a non-official language, than Italian, an official language. One of the three national languages will generally be used in local media of the respective areas. For example, French will be used in the local media of the French-speaking part, Italian will be used in the local media of the Italian-speaking part, but English will often be used in nationwide media / advertising that reaches across all three linguistic parts of Switzerland, since more Swiss have English as their L2 than one of the other national languages. Swiss people who can speak all three national languages are rare. Tourism, specifically in larger cities and stuff, adds to the prestige of being able to speak English, and as stated before, it's the German-speaking areas where English as an EFL is more common.
In modern Switzerland, English language education is controlled on the canton level. That is to say, every canton gets to decide its own language education policy. Generally speaking, each Swiss student learns their native language, as well as one other language that is a national language, and English. So that's their native language, another official language of Switzerland, and English, so three languages in total. English is a high-status language, as it is considered extremely useful in business and international relations. And despite its lack of official language status, English is also increasingly used for intra-canton communication, especially in informal situations, and especially by young people. This is much to the chagrin of certain segments of the Swiss population. About 60% of the population is at least somewhat fluent in English, and that number is likely to increase as time goes on. The future of English is extremely bright.
Hi everyone, my name is Latifa Yaqoobi, and I will be doing part B of this assignment. I will be discussing linguistic variants of Swiss English versus General American English. Swiss people who speak English sometimes have an accent. A specific example of this is how they pronounce the letters R. Phonetically, their R's are not pronounced with a simple but are rolled in a sense, so r. For example, the word older becomes older. Some more examples would include the letter W. Instead of being pronounced The Swiss pronounce it V, and as stereotypical as it sounds, words such as the word we becomes V and want becomes want. The letter U is also sometimes replaced with the letter O, so jump becomes jump and cup becomes cup. Although it is still relatively general American English, and most English speakers can understand it, there is still a clear accent and a few key differences. As a group, we have also discussed whether or not we think if English will continue to be used in the country, and whether or not it will become more common than it is. We came to the consensus that it would indeed continue to be used, and that it will most likely grow and become more popular. We came to this conclusion because we know that tourism is growing, English is globalizing, and knowing how to speak English is becoming emphasized in education. That is all for our video. Thanks for watching!